Don't you hear the hood crying? Mommies and daddies, sons and daughters. Yeah, don't you hear them crying? Don't you hear the hood crying? Yeah, I feel the pain. It's in the blacks up north. Sending blacks up north. They're sending us way up. Sending blacks straight up north. I feel the pain. It's in the blacks up north. And another one, and another one, and another one, and another one. They're sending us up north. Way up north. They're sending sons and daughters to colleges, privileges, scholarships. We get plea bargains and long sentences. Jail visits. Absentee parents where daddy is. Missing guidance. Systematic dysfunctional families. Recidivism. Daddy back on the slave ship. Revolving door. Direct route. Beeline. School to prison. Pipeline.
Sean Worsley, a veteran, sentenced to 5 years in prison in Alabama for using medicinal marijuana he'd been legally prescribed to treat a traumatic brain injury. Fairwayne Bryant, 63 years old, sentenced to life in prison for stealing a pair of hedge clippers because 18 years before he had been convicted of robbing a taxi driver. Khalif Browder, a 16-year-old held in prison for 3 years in New York for allegedly stealing a backpack. Charged, but never put on trial. Beaten by prison guards and placed in solitary confinement for 2 years, he attempted suicide twice in prison. Still traumatized, he committed suicide at his mother's home after being released. These are just 3 drops in a sea of similar stories all across the United States. Why are these stories so common? One of the ugly truths about our country is that we lock up a higher percentage of our people than any other nation on earth. In fact, we imprison more people than any other country, period. We are the biggest prison in the world. We have a significantly larger prison population, 2.1 million people, than China, a country with 3 times our population. Why does the United States lock up so many of its people? More than the entire population of New Mexico. Where did this wholesale imprisonment of huge groups of people, what we call mass incarceration, come from? Let's go back a few decades. Starting in the 1960s, many companies looking to cut costs moved production out of big cities like Detroit, Milwaukee, Cleveland, or simply automated away big chunks of their workforce. Their employees were left jobless, and manufacturing was ripped out of great cities that used to be synonymous with industry. After 1970, unemployment for non-college educated men soared, especially black people who were just then entering the middle class.
On the count.